my name is Ismael Triviño, and this is the Millennial Way Show. Today, we have a very, very special guest, a visionary sculptor whose work has captivated collectors, museums, and art lovers around the world. She's an award-winning artist known for transforming emotion into timeless bronze forms that blend elegance, movement, and profound introspection. From the Havana, Cuba, to Miami, Florida, from the financial world to the global art stage, her journey is one of courage, reinvention, and limitless creativity. Featured across international exhibitions, luxury hotels, major art fairs, and even an upcoming Netflix series, she has become a powerful voice in contemporary sculpture. For the Millennial Way Show, it's an honor to welcome the extraordinary Ada Da Silva to our show. Thank you very much for being with us.
Ismael, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you very much.
I want to understand a little bit about your background because I was reading and you studied financials, you studied economics, you studied numbers, and all of a sudden you end up being recognized as one of the best sculptors of Art Basel 2023 and so long. What happened?
Well, I told my parents I wanted to study art. And because I was born in Havana, coming from an immigrant family, being an immigrant myself, my parents kind of laughed at me. They said, absolutely not. You are not going into the arts. You are going to study finance and follow in the footsteps of your dad because that's what makes money. So I did. I followed the rules, and I have a degree in economics and finance. It wasn't until later on in life I was given the opportunity to finally pursue my dream, which is always to, follow that creativity, that notion that I've always had inside of me, that love and passion for art and expression, that I finally was able to really start my career as an artist.
And how difficult was to actually take that decision? Because, as you said, it is like the common step-by-step, okay, no, you should be a doctor, you should be a business administrator, but then the art world is always like, okay, that you're not going to make it, that's not going to happen. What was that trigger point that made you decide, you know what, I'm going to do it my way?
It's funny because I feel like we say this in a very taboo, very cliche way, that God has a plan for you. But I really do feel, and I believe that really with my core, that God has a plan for everyone. And I think my plan was always to be an artist and be able to create. I was given the opportunity to move to Mexico City. And in Mexico City, I didn't have a work visa. So I was finally given the time to be able to do whatever I wanted. So I said to myself, well, God, you put me here. I'm going to pursue my passion. So I started studying fine arts. I started studying different types of mediums of art with different maestros. I really started creating all types of incredible things just for myself, for self-fulfillment. And my friends started saying, hey, this is really good. You have something here. And I was like, oh, that's just them being, kind. No, sure enough, little by little, my friends started purchasing the different pieces that I would create, and that gave me the motivation to try and attempt to create a series of works that were going to be for commercial sales. And sure enough, my first exhibition, I sold out. So I was like, wow.
First exhibition?
Yes.
How many pieces?
It was about 8 pieces. It was a small exhibition, a small series, but I sold out.
In what year? What was that?
Oh, that was like 10 years ago.
And do you remember can you say the amount? More or less, how much it was?
Oh, it was a few $1,000s per piece. So it was very different.
Wow.
Different pricing from today.
I know, but the first time and sold out.
Yes. I was lucky too, right? I was in the right structure and the right group of people that were already art lovers. They knew me personally, and they just believed in, invested in me, really. So that was like the motivating factor to say, wait, I have something here. I really do. I can believe in myself. And so from then on, I really kind of took that financial background that I had and I said, okay, I'm going to create this business plan and move forward with an art career. Let me see if I can actually prove to my parents that I can make it.
That was 10 years ago, more or
That
less.
was 10 years ago.
In your last question, you mentioned twice God.
Mm-hmm.
How close are you to God in terms of seeing Him or it as this powerful source that can guide your destination?
I'm a Catholic and I go to church every Sunday, most Sundays. But my relationship with God is more of a overall trusting. I trust in more like a karma.
Mm-hmm.
Do good to others and good things will come to you. I believe in good energy. I go to church to get fulfilled with energies and give back and receive good energies. So my God it's all surrounding my everyday, really. It's not, I have faith, but I wouldn't say I have such a deep, deep faith in let's say, the church.
Mm-hmm,
I believe more in doing good. And if I go to church and understand that God reminds me, that's why I go to church, really, it reminds me that doing good is really the essence of everything.
There's a phrase of Zig Ziglar that says, if you help enough people to get what they want, you can have anything you want.
Yeah.
And it's kind of something like that. Like if you are open always to help others, some powerful source will double or triple to you. So I super agree with what you just said.
I totally believe that.
And you also mentioned the word lucky, like that you were lucky. Do you believe it, like really on the lucky word, or is a mix of preparation, opportunity?
I believe everybody makes their own luck, right? You can't just step into a room and win something. There's a reason why you're there. There's a preparation and a purpose. So luck, if you create it, you create the scenario, the work, the background, the reading, the preparation, everything that goes behind every decision that you make every single day. Then you step in a room and get lucky. Well, are you really lucky? No, you had some preparation in order to make sure that you step into that luck.
Correct. Totally agree. So you were in Mexico, first exhibition sold out. Mm-hmm. Then what?
Then I started creating on a more professional level. I started studying more and more different mediums of art. And then I really just stuck to what I really loved, which was sculpture. That's the medium that really just resonated with me. It was absolutely a form of self-expression. And I immediately was drawn to creating in bronze because it was just part of my personality. It was
bronze.
Yes. So
we're gonna why you end up working with this very, very hard material?
Well, it really just came naturally to me because I didn't study arts in a professional manner. I wasn't ever boxed in with any methodology or any type of so I was able to just create whatever came exactly from my heart. My art has always been a form of self-expression, and I just felt like bronze was just me. It's elegant, it's timeless, it's classic, it's it has this power to it and the beauty that will just surpass us all. I thought it was just the perfect way of expressing myself.
When you create these amazing art pieces with bronze, I've seen 2 meters high. When this structure or art piece start from scratch, it starts in a piece of paper, in a napkin, or in a little project, and then you go all the way to a big
Well,
scenario, or how is the process?
so I like to always remind people that I don't create objects, I create emotions. So where does it start? It really starts with my travels, my life, my experiences, my emotions. So I have a little journal that I carry everywhere with me. And when I'm sparked to create something, I write down, I'll do a little sketch, but the most important part is I write down the emotion, what I was feeling at that very moment, because that is what I then put into the art to make sure that I can then evoke that through my creations.
From emotions to form.
Correct. So it really is the process of feeling, jotting it down, then going back into the studio and creating the sketches that I'm going to be doing, and then building the forms, right? I create a lot of pieces, but not everything gets produced, right? Because the medium is so expensive to work in. So I only create the ones that I actually feel like the emotion is expressed, and it's, the cleanest lines and the things that I actually love.
Amazing. And through your career as an artist, which would you say was this ticking point or this trigger when all of a sudden you started to be recognized in a international and a global scale?
Well, it was very organic. I've always been very true to myself as an artist. Again, because it's that self-expression, I put the art out there and it almost speaks for itself. Somebody walks up to it and they understand there's something that connects to them. And very organically, people started recognizing the work. They wanted to get to know a little bit more. Acquisitions started, creating more and more collectors. And then the recognition just followed very naturally, very organically.
That's amazing. That's amazing. There's this Beauty of Dreams series. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so that one is me trying to express the different triumphs in life, the dreams, the things that you can acquire. There's these pieces that are almost angelic, and they're looking up and they're dreaming and saying, I can capture this, this whatever's out there is right here for me to obtain. So I really wanted to create that series because I wanted to remind myself that those dreams are there for myself and anyone else to capture. All you have to do is really, it's dream, write it down, and remember to create your own luck.
That's amazing. I mean, and that specifically, where did you came up with that idea and you wrote it in a journal? Like, do you remember where you were? It was in one of your trips, or?
It was, actually. I remember specifically where it was. I was standing on top of a mountain in Portugal in the Algarve region. And I was looking up going, wow, I can achieve anything. Look where I am. And I reminded myself that every single dream you can think of and every goal is achievable as long as you remind yourself that you can do it and put together the plans in place to do so.
Totally agree. Besides the artistic side, you have also a very powerful philanthropic side. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I think it's just part of my nature. Giving back is something that just comes so naturally to me. I always want to help anybody that's in need. For me is.
Are you involved right now in?
I'm involved in a lot of different ventures. This year, I've tried to step back a little bit because my career has been a little bit more time-consuming. But I love education of children. So Breakthrough Miami is one of those charities that is very dear to my heart. It is a charity that helps underprivileged children here in Miami, and it gives them additional studies. They bus them into the private schools, and they get schooling 5 times a week and on Saturdays. So
Wow.
just to kind of catch up to where our public school system is with the private school system. And I always believe, especially because I am an immigrant, I feel education really changes everything. So it's not about giving funding so much as giving an education. If you fund the education of a student, that student will take off, and then they can create their dreams. They can really take off. And everything, especially here in the United States, I feel everything is about education. The more you know, the more powerful you are.
Amazing. Last question, and we really appreciate your time, Ada. What is your greatest piece of advice for young creators, for dreamers, and professionals who want to pursue a life of meaning, beauty, and also impact?
Believe in yourself and create your village. The more support you have around you, the people that are good-hearted, love you, support your dreams, that's what's going to make the difference in life. So find a mentor, find someone you can count on, find those people that are always going to tell you, yes, you can. It could be your parents, it could be a mentor, it could be somebody in finance, it could be whatever your career is. Just don't be afraid to knock on the door, send an email, send a message to anyone you think that could be a mentor in your life. I promise you, people are nicer than they seem, and more open and more willing to help than most people would understand.
Ala Silva, it was a pleasure and an honor to have you on the Millennial Way Show. We really appreciate it, and congratulations on the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Gracias, Ismael.
To everyone listening and watching this interview, I hope today's conversation inspires you to explore creativity, trust your voice, and pursue the dreams that keep calling you. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who needs a dose of inspiration today. My name is Ismael Triviño, and this is the Millennial Way Show, empowering the new generations.